You guys already picked
Yeah,
judgment.
sure.
He said Mercury. He's a Detroyer and a neutral.
That's okay. And clearly, I don't agree to Mercury right now. Do you know why? See?
Wait, you
But if
didn't
you were
agree
listening
to
so
Earn
much,
Judge?
you'd know. Why?
You didn't agree to Earn Judge? Is that what you said?
Yeah, basically. Look,
So if I'm saying solitude is my judge, is Mercury still my judge?
look, so you can have
Actually, can you
solitude.
even answer why I don't want Mercury right now?
Look,
Since
you
you
can
feel
have
so
solitude.
open to criticize me about such?
Yeah, let me just
Because
get into your
Mercury's in
mind.
the car. Look,
No, I
it's
said it out
fine.
loud. And clearly you're tracking that if you have such criticisms, right?
Okay, so look, you can have
Oh,
solitude.
you weren't?
can have
That's because you
Detroyer,
didn't actually
and then
know,
we
you
can have
little
Detroyer.
fucktard. I said I wanted an immediate judge, you dumb fuck.
Okay.
Obviously,
Right, you're-
if
you're
Mercury
boring,
is
you're
here,
OC.
he's not going to be an immediate judge. Do you understand
boring,
that, you little dweeb?
You're
You
boring.
understand that now? Perfect. What's
You're
up,
boring.
Shinra?
Okay, you can have solitude. I can have Detroyer. Then what's it called? Toxic could be the neutral. Yeah.
Will, who did Starcracker? What? Or Firecracker like that?
He's just
That's
ducking. Like, that's
crazy.
bro. You're actually just ducking. Like, you're actually a pussy, bro. Mother's lad.
I'm actually a pussy.
Debate him, bro.
Debate me right now?
Debate him.
Do you want to
Debate
debate me right now?
Debate him. Yeah,
Do
free
you want to
judge.
debate me right now?
Debate him.
Since I'm a pussy.
Debate him. Debate
No,
him.
go ahead. No, don't try switching it. Do you want to debate me right now
Go and
since I'm a
debate
pussy?
him. Go and
Do you
debate
want
him.
to do a 2v1?
Go and debate
See?
him.
No.
Go
Go
and
ahead.
debate him.
Shinra, do
Go
you want to do a
and
2v1 with
debate
C?
him. What's wrong with
No.
this guy?
We both can 2v1 me on this direct spot. We are 13-0, Shinra.
Go and
Not
debate him.
Shinra. What's your name?
Debate him.
C?
Oh,
Whatever
God.
your name is. A, B, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Okay? We're 13-0. This is what
Go
you need to
and
understand.
debate him.
I will get you the last verdict. You
Debate
want me to get you
him.
that?
Debate him.
Okay then. So shut up and watch the debate like a submissive spectator then. I don't need
You're
your
not debating
opinion.
me.
I don't need your input.
Guy.
You're a chat doing at best. You can't debate and you'll never be better than me.
Okay,
Stop this
so
ambition. Stop this dream. It
Oh,
won't happen. You
debate.
aren't good. And it's
Debate.
okay, Slacks, because I'm recording on OBS and the current chat where Shinra's trying to stop it.
don't
Debate.
worry.
Right?
I'll
listen,
stop recording
back
when
to
the debate
Shinra.
started.
Okay? No. Okay, since you want to still speak, C, do you want to 2v1 me right now?
Debate him! Go and debate him! Fucking debate
Okay
him!
then. Okay then, your voice is cracking, you little
Man,
little coward.
bro.
So listen, back to Shinra.
man.
Since Shinra clearly is the more competent folk out of C. That was a lie. I'm not gonna lie. That was crazy. That was a crazy lie. But it's okay though. Listen,
Okay,
Shinra, you have your judge. I have mine. Let's start.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay,
then we
so
can just
why should I be
upload-
convinced of moral anti-realism?
You're fine with Kura doing the talking.
I asked for his alias.
Okay, so do you want somebody else to do it? Can I have Shikia?
No, I want his alias. That was the question, dumb
I
fuck.
don't know his AAS.
Duh! That's why I'm asking him. I'm just some random. Okay. No, we could get another one.
Wait,
What's
We
up,
can have
Shikia?
Shikia do it.
wait, chill, Archie.
What did I didn't? Okay, so I'm not gonna answer your questions anymore. What's up,
Archie,
Slugs?
Can you hear me? Yeah, look,
Yeah,
how C is getting angry, calling Andy coming salty again because he knows that he's gonna get him.
Suck your mother.
Oh, I know why. It's because C is like one of those fellows. He's like Cartesian theater, right? They just sit back, talk shit, you know, just yap and chat, highly criticize people without fully understanding the argument, you know. But he can't help it though. I mean, he's British, you know. It's just natural of them. They can't help themselves. They're like festy little creatures. They just can't help but be obnoxious. That's why none of the other worldly countries and political borders enjoy them, right? This is why they got blacklisted and defeated, right? Because they're British. You know, they're just disgusting creatures, just vermin that should die. You know? I'm joking, by the way. I don't think any British person should die. But,
Stop over
uh-oh.
Shut up! Oh my god, Archie, Yuki can moderate.
Archie, you can.
Yeah, Yuki can moderate.
Sure.
Okay.
UG can moderate if UG agrees to such. Do you agree,
Yes,
UG?
alright.
Sure, I can moderate.
Buddy. Okay, perfect.
Okay, sure. So, what's it called? Why
So,
do you
want to start now?
Yeah, sure. So, what's the
Okay,
argument
so
for
why
more
should I be
realism?
convinced of anti-realism?
I just asked you what the argument was for more
You
realism.
didn't
What's-
just ask you. You got cut off when I asked you, are we starting now? And then I asked the question when we started, why should we engage in moral anti-realism? If you want, I can send you the 30-second clip to which I just clipped it, retard.
Okay,
Stop trying to
the
duck
reason-
around. I'm just asking for your
Okay.
position. Okay.
So,
What do you define
one-
as anti-realism? First off.
I just take the okay. I'm not convinced that moral facts actually exist. I don't think that there's been any solid evidence that has been provided to me, to least to my knowledge, that leads me to the conclusion that moral facts exist.
Okay.
And I also,
So
I'm
if I
like,
provide you
also-
evidence,
I'm unclear.
okay.
Look, okay. Anyway, but like, look, I'm also unclear as to what a categorical.
Okay, so you
imperative
answered my
actually
question.
looks like. So, yeah, I don't know if those are actually coherent. So you can go ahead.
I just want to know. He just muted me when you were about to finish speaking, and he just muted me for saying you answered my question. By the way, I just want everyone to know that. That's amazing moderation. First 30 seconds in, but now that you've answered my question, thank you so much. Why should I be convinced of such?
So, okay, one, I'm not trying to convince you specifically as to whether or not you should be a more anti-realist. I'm simply saying that there's been no evidence provided to me as towards the existence of moral facts. So typically what a more realist will want to do is say that there are actually moral facts existing, and then an anti-realist to take the negation to such. So again, what I was looking for very simply was an argument as to why there are no moral facts in which exist, or there are moral facts in which exist, I should say. And it seems as if you just aren't providing any.
Okay. So it seems that you don't think that I should be convinced of such. Okay. So next I'll ask you this, right? What do you define as a moral fact?
Oh my
A
god.
moral fact is just.
Did C just interrupt?
Okay, a moral
You're
fact
banished.
could just be. Okay, a
Continue.
moral fact could just be some like stance independent reason for action.
A stance independent reason for action.
For action.
And what do you think it means for something to be independent from a stance?
So this thing is still a reason for. Okay, this thing like counts in favor of an action independent of any goals that you have.
That's what you think it means to be independent from a stance?
Yeah.
To count in favor regardless of any goals you have? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Sure.
So just goals, that's all.
No, so like something that counts in favor of a specific goal, which is external to your own action. So one might say that the reason why you may not want to murder people, or a reason why you wouldn't murder people, is because then it makes the person feel bad, right? But then, like what's it called? That's only a reason for action, insofar as you also don't want the family to feel bad.
Good job.
But if that desire is just not present to you, right, then of course it would no longer be a reason. But what a more realist would say is that it is still a reason, even independent of whether or not you care about it or not. So
Okay, I'm glad you answered like 15, I'd say about, 15 words ago? So let's see. What is going to be the basis that these moral facts or stance-independent reasons don't exist? What's the basis for this?
I just what's it called? It's just a conclusion that I've personally made based off. So it's the same way how you'd say that what you've observed unicorns, you actually haven't.
Buddy, are you cutting in and out? Are you good, bud? Also, I'd like to let you know, that's not going to be a basis. I asked for the basis, not why you think this is the case. I say, why do you think this is true? You could think it's the case based off the fact that you favor the name, but what's the basis that it's true?
Hello, am I lagging out? Okay, so what's it called? The reason as to why I just say that more realism is just false is because am I still lagging?
Nah, now you're good.
Okay, so the reason as to why I'd say more realism is just false is because it posits a claim in which I've not seen any evidence towards. So again, it's the same way how I wouldn't say unicorns exist or flying dragons exist, because I haven't been provided any evidence of it. So again, since I'm an anti-realist, I'm just skeptical towards the existence of moral fact. I don't know particularly. Also, someone's like background noise is like drowning, but I don't know and I haven't been presented any actual solid evidence towards the existence of moral facts.
Shikia. That's actually fine, actually. So the reason why, or the basis for stance-independent reasons not existing is because you're unsure of moral realism and you feel that you haven't been presented a reason for moral realism and you think that moral facts can't be observed. That's the basis? Just so I can hear this clearly.
No, the basis is one, the lack of evidence, and then the second thing is more realists seem to posit a claim that stance independent reasons for actions exist, and I'd like to know, and I'm curious as to how they'd cash that out and how they'd actually reason that that's actually coherent. And since I haven't been provided any reasoning as to why it's coherent, then I just conclude that they posit something that I don't seem to understand and seems to be.
Okay. Perfect. So we actually did agree, and you just wanted an option to yap. That's completely okay. So that's fine. You're saying, okay. And even if you don't believe moral realism to be the case, do you think there's no other positions other than anti-realism?
Anti-realism is just broad, so you can be an anti-realist by virtue of like accepting non-cognitivism, or you could be an anti-realist by accepting some form of error theory. I sympathize more to error theory than any other anti-realist view. However, I still don't think like I don't think like fucking anti-realism is like the only metaethical position that you could have. So I don't
Okay,
know.
thank you for finally answering such question at the very end. Even though I'm very glad you understand different versions of non or anti-realism, right? Now, it seems to be the case that you do posit the fact that there are other metaethical views. So what's going to be the issue with there being a metaethical view that is true or that is not true of your position, but still separate from moral realism? Would you posit that your stance is false at that case?
I
Since
mean,
that's the basis.
okay, if what's it called? If there is some form of view, okay, one, somebody's like cutting in, so I think that's sober, but there's some form of position which does not affect the
Yeah, your mic's cutting in and out again, bud. You might want to fix
okay.
that.
Yeah, so like literally
Also,
if
C can't track for sure.
okay, but if there's some form of like view, or if there's some form of like a view that just doesn't accept moral realism and does not actually accept the existence of stance independent facts.
Wait, repeat that, please.
Like okay, if there's some form of view that doesn't accept the existence of stance independent facts, that would also like fall under moral anti-realism as a broad position. But what I need here is I just need you to actually defend the argument that moral realism is true, rather than just like being skeptic about my specific stances. Because
That's a good
initially
need.
I asked for some form of argument.
Oh, sorry, good. Okay.
Yeah, I just need to. Do you have an argument for moral realism?
Okay, so that's a good need, right? So it seems that you said that there can be other positions that, linger outside of anti-realism that still don't hold to realism, right? Your basis was based off of the fact that your own position, or that this position was untrue. There are other positions that disagree with moral realism that don't necessarily have to encompass anti-realism, which is just the doctrine that rejects the existence of objective moral values.
Okay, look, it's like okay,
So
look,
if there were to be,
okay,
did you just interrupt me?
no, I
And
thought you
he
were
didn't
done.
get muted?
What?
That's so weird. Surely there's not a lag in moderation, right? No, never. We'll just imagine Yuji is just playing with his dick right now. So back to my argument, right? Clearly, if there's other positions that linger outside of anti-realism, and your basis for anti-realism being true is because another position is false, which I don't grant regardless. Even if we were to presuppose such factors, there's still going to be a basis for anti-realism, given the fact that there are other positions that are outside of anti-realism that may disagree with anti-realism, specifically the part about there being a lack of normative facts in our objective reality. Then this wouldn't exactly be a basis for your position, right? This would just be a denial of another position rather than a basis of yours. So this doesn't seem to fulfill such basis. This doesn't seem to actually answer my question, right?
Yeah,
and
so
if you're asking for, did he just try to interrupt me again and get unmuted? Wow, that's amazing.
That was someone else.
So that was someone else. So let's look in Autolog real quick for who decided to interject. So it seemed to be C. So Shikio, C's not coming back for the rest of the debate. Just letting you know. Bye-bye. I'll see you in 7 days. So back to, Shinra's arg.
Before you continue,
the second part of what you included was you had asked me to give an argument for moral realism. And that's completely fine. I'll be demonstrating one shortly. So, good.
Look, am I on mute? Okay, beautiful. So look, it just seems right now as if I'm just amping you on metaethics instead of actually engaging in anything substantive. So again, if there's some point of view that you could say disagrees with every other view, like non-cognitivism, it disagrees with subjectivism, yet it still denies the existence of moral realism and it denies the existence of stance-independent reasons, it is still a type of moral anti-realism. In the same way how you could say that there's some form of racists who walk around the earth and then they disagree that black people have rights, but they all disagree for some form of different reasons, right? However, because of the fact that they all seem to share this opinion that black people don't have rights, they still fall under the same category of a racist. So in the same way, even if I can grant that there's type of
You're cutting out.
Your mic's cutting in and out again, buddy.
Yeah. Hello.
You might wanna repeat that.
Hello. Yeah. But
Yeah,
look,
go ahead, bro.
hello.
He was capping.
Yeah, I said go ahead, buddy. Track, please.
Okay, but look, even if I grant that there's some sort of unique anti-realist view, which is not like any other anti-realist view that I know of, as long as it still denies the existence of stance-independent facts, then my view and my argument would still go through. But look, I think this isn't too substantive, so I would just want to know and I want to understand the argument for more realism.
Too substantive. That's very amazing. So, anyways, addressing what you had said, I completely agree that moral realism and anti-realism seem to be parallels to each other. So I'd just rather ask you this. Do expressivists argue that normative facts don't exist?
Do expressivists argue that normative facts exist? So facts about what you should do independent of what you do? Yes, they just take moral talk to just be expressions of your own. There's a should there that's just external to what you want or your personal.
All right, perfect. And do you understand that the anti-realism doctrine denies these normative facts?
Yes, anti-realists also would deny that there are things you should do independent of what you want.
Also, you just said that they argue for it, expressivist.
No. Anti-realists would also deny the fact that there exist facts about what you should do independent of what you want to do.
Also, so that means you're including another position or ideology, which seems to be an issue, because if you're including expressivism, or whatever it's called, I'm sorry, an expressivist, yeah, there you go. So an expressivist is not going to be someone who argues for such normative facts. This is something you agree to. You understand this, correct?
Yes, expressivists and expressivism literally just a type of such an expressivist. And almost every other type of anti-realist would both just deny the existence of
No. This isn't answering my question. No. This isn't answering my question, right? And you understand you just denied that anti-realists argue for such. Okay. So we understand these parameters. Yes.
Okay. I just
did
need
you not?
Okay. I did not say that anti-realist. Okay. I did not say that anti-realists argue for normative realism for one, but two.
Okay.
I'm just
great. That's not what I said. And you also cut me off.
You said before, but go ahead.
So even he said go ahead. So I'm curious for the mute there.
I muted before you said it, little man.
Yeah, this nigga UG, bro. Yo, who's worse, Shikio or UG, bro? Yo, we need to see this debate in moderation, man.
Shikio.
Yeah.
There's no reason, bro.
Okay, listen. Expressivists argue, okay, that moral language is just primarily expressive, and that it conveys emotions and attitudes rather than making claims about the world. You understand that this is in opposition to the normative doctrine of moral realism, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that means that's a view that does not follow within the lines of normative anti-realism. And it's also a view that doesn't fall in the lines of realism as well. So that means that's a view that disagrees with your view, okay? That also takes my view to be false. If this is going to be the case, right, then you understand your argument hinging off of the fact that you think my view is false, therefore your view is correct. You understand if there's a third-party engagement to such, it's not going to lead to the necessary conclusion that your view is correct. You understand this, right? Same with other beliefs, intuitionism, moral sense theory, and different other meta-ethical doctrines that don't necessarily fall within line of both realism and anti-realism. This means your argument, regardless, is not going to necessarily lead to your conclusion, and rather it just seems to be a denial of my position rather than a basis for yours.
Look, so this just seems like an immense display of cowardice. It seems as if he isn't actually going to give the...
Well, that just seems that you don't have a... Oh, sorry, you cut out again.
Okay, yeah, but it seems as if he's just going to gallivant around instead of giving me the argument for more realism. But the second thing is just, even if I accept that expressivists would deny the existence of normative facts and deny more realism, but expressivists would also fit under the category of anti-realists. You can search this up on the SCP. Expressivists are also just a branch of anti-realism. Again, is just a position that...
Yeah, your mic's cutting in and out again, so you might want to repeat that better while you ramble on. and contradict yourself.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Right.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes. So if what's it called? If like they deny the existence of moral facts, then they are an anti-realist. It's like literally a true dichotomy. So if you deny the existence of moral facts, you're an anti-realist. If you accept it, then you're a moral realist. So again, no matter all of the other stuff that you say about the argument, maybe they're cognitivists, it doesn't matter which. As long as they just say that mind-independent moral facts don't exist, they are still anti-realists.
I mean, that's quite the interpretation of meta-ethical views. I take that to be false, right? And mainly because you have already accepted that a primary part and a crucial part and an innate part of anti-realism is the denial of normative facts, right? Anti-realism is just going to be a meta-ethical doctrine that rejects the existence of objective moral values and normative facts, right? And we understand that according to this perspective, moral whats are going to be into subjective and do not, correspond with any external reality. Do you know what the what is in that? Rhetorical question, don't answer. Judgments, right? This extends to things such as personal opinions, cultural norms, and even social conventions. Things that we generally see within sociology and with our behavior. These are positions that fit into relativism, positions that fit into subjectivism, error theory. So I agree with you in a sense, okay? But you also have to understand that a big part of that is denying normative facts. If we also understand that expressivism is not going to fit within the lines and the criteria of such, then this criteria is not being fulfilled. Therefore, this area and what we consider to be a position, if it doesn't have all the properties and values of such position, it wouldn't be considered that position. It'd be considered something else. It may be a position that has similar beliefs to that other position. I'd completely agree, right? But it wouldn't necessarily be identical by any means, or outlying or entailed within that by any means. Not saying that a position has to be identical to fit into anti-realism, because we understand there are extensionary positions such as error theory that many people genuinely seem to offer, and that even you said you extend towards it a bit. But if you're denying such, then that just wouldn't fit into your argument. Because it seems that the entire basis for my position being false and my position being wrong is based off of the fact that, or at least your position being right, my apologies, is based off of that fact that my position is wrong, which I don't presuppose, right? Which is another claim that needs to be fulfilled. But extending upon what you had already said, even if we were to accept such a logic, it just wouldn't necessarily lead to your conclusion if we accept that third-party engagements do exist.
Look, this is literally just filibustering, so you just wasted my time for a good 5 minutes. So again, anti-realism is simply just the negation of what facts exist. That is the only value that's needed for you to be an anti.
Nice one.
So,
you just cut out, so you might want to reset that.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, bud.
Okay, finally. So again, anti-realism is just a negation of moral facts existing. I don't think this is something hard to understand. That's the necessary and sufficient condition to be an anti-realist. So whenever you tell me all of these other positions exist, and they all seem to not accept moral facts, they are all also anti-realist. So you said initially that you're going to give me an argument. Seems as if throughout the entire conversation,
You're cutting out.
so Jesus Christ. It doesn't even look okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right, buddy. Continue to schizo babble for me.
Okay. But again, look, what I was looking for, and to keep it as concise as possible, I just need an argument for anti-realism. They only hold. Okay. Right, okay.
You're cutting out again.
Jesus Christ, bro. Is this like.
Good job.
Okay. Am I still lagging?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I'm going to say this slowly this time so I don't lag out.
Why is it that when you say
Yeah,
you're used to liking, you don't like? Like, what the fuck?
Literally.
I wonder why.
Look,
Surely he wouldn't be, using any one particular debater's tactic, right?
Listen, this nigga is spamming his mute button, bro. What the fuck?
Okay. So maybe I'm going to try one last time. So the anti-realism just claims the negation of moral facts. Anything else that agrees? Now I'm just looking for an argument.
All right.
Rather than run away.
All right. So you cut out for that final bit too, and for most of it, so I can't fully understand what exactly you're saying. But even then, it just seems that you don't actually have a response. So that's okay, and we can move on from that point. I'll be giving an argument. So that's fine.
Yeah, so what's the argument?
That is what you requested, of course, right?
Yes, indeed. Am I still lagging? Hello?
Nope.
No.
So,
Okay.
are you aware?
Thank God.
Mhm. Yeah,
Thank
of course.
God. Go ahead.
So, are you aware from the
wait,
argument
Shinra.
from normative realism?
Shinra, wait. Shinra, can you say 1 to 10 real quick?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay,
Yes.
can you contend Archie's
Oh,
argument?
wow.
Yes, I can.
Wow.
Can you not lag, please?
Hopefully. But Archie, what's the argument for more
Wow.
realism?
You just listen like a fucking dog. That's fine. So, first I'll ask you, do you agree that we observe physiological responses from statements that one considers to be kind or good?
Yeah, I agree that we respond positively to statements we consider to be kind or good. Yes.
Okay. That's not my question. Do you consider and do you agree that we observe physiological responses from statements we consider to be kind, good, etc.?
Yes, I can agree that whenever we respond again physiologically to statements we consider to be kind or good. Again, I just take good
when
that
we
just
respond
in line with my
physiologically.
purposes.
Yeah, that's not my question. I'm asking, do we observe these physiological responses?
Yes, we observe these physiological responses.
Okay. Now, would you agree these statements and that these propositions, that the proposition, for example, I will help you with your taxes. Would you agree that such a statement on a general level would observe a physiological response that'd be positive?
I can agree that we'd observe a physiological response to these type of statements. Yes, I don't understand where the gap is from that to the stance independent reasons.
That's not necessarily my question, right? Do you observe physiological responses that are positive or negative from this?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming by negative you just mean like what's it called? It extends the life of the organism or something. But
by negative, I mean extends the life of the organism.
I don't know what you mean when you say like physiologically positive responses.
What do you think negative means?
That's why I'm asking you, because I said I don't know. Hello.
So it's just lacking positive or constructive features.
Okay.
So, for example, if one were to be angry, we wouldn't consider this to be, adding constructive features that generally help. Most people would consider negative responses to be gloomy, pessimistic, upset in nature.
I'm assuming when you say help, you just mean it like actualizes some goal. Sure.
Help? Do you think help is to actualize a goal?
If I'm helping you with something, it's probably just me also like what's it called? Putting in some effort to actualize a shared goal that we have. Yes.
Okay. So you agree that we do observe these physiological responses. Would you agree that physiological responses are objective?
Yeah, I can agree that we have like physiological responses that are mind independent.
Part of reality.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you would agree. What was that?
Yeah, I feel like I'd say like I'd agree that we have some mind independent responses to some things that we consider to be positive. I'm just unclear as to whether or not positive is something that exists outside of our mind. So again, in the same way how if I stab you in the chest, you could say that it's a mind independent fact that you are bleeding out, and it's a mind independent fact that you're losing blood. But that doesn't seem to bridge the gap, or actually, unless you want to say that like bleeding out is the moral fact.
Of course. Right. So let me ask you something. Let's just take an action by itself. Let's just imagine an action that has no connotative value at all. Would you say that this action is a physiological action that's observed within the external reality?
What did you say?
Would you say that this physiological action is something that's observed within our external reality? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I just need an argument.
Do you know what positive is?
Dialogue.
And do you know what? Would you agree that positive and negative features are features that we observe within our reality?
I can agree that positive and negative features the way you're meaning it, which is just it furthers the goal of some organism, are like mind independent, right? Again, this isn't identical to some more fact that exists. So I'm looking for the argument, not some form of like interview where you keep asking me yes or no. Do you have like
Right.
written out in like
So,
a syllogism or?
Right. So, anywho, that didn't necessarily answer my question.
Okay, so it doesn't
Do
have
you
a further
agree
one.
that these positive and negative features are features of our external reality?
I can agree depending on how you mean it.
How I mean what specifically? Our
If
external
you
reality?
mean, okay, look, is this no? It's the same as what I said before. If you mean by positive and negative, just that it's mind independently furthers some goal that this organism has, then I can agree with that. However, I don't think that actually is some form of justification as to why what's it called, as to why these moral facts exist. So
Okay, that's okay. So you agree that these are factors that we do observe within our external reality? Okay. So if these positive features are observed within our external reality, right, generally, to these moral statements, and you agree that these moral statements are statements that are made within our external reality, if we're observing these, consistent physiological responses and changes, would you not say that this is quite literally a, engagement with external reality from a moral position?
I'd okay. I'd say that what's it called, moral judgments that we have seem to actually motivate or mind independently.
You're cutting in and out again, right? And regardless, that doesn't answer my question.
So hello, can you hear me?
No, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So I can agree that moral statements or moral judgments seem to motivate some form of like a mind independent response that we have. However, I don't agree that mind independent response is actually going to be identical to what we consider to be moral, even under like a realist view. So one could say that, for example, if somebody commits a crime like murder, for example, and somebody says that's right or that's wrong, even regardless of whether or not they have like some positive physical reaction towards it isn't going to be identical to what most people consider to be moral, because you could say that somebody
Why?
gets pleasure, okay, anyway, but you could say that somebody gets pleasure from an action and the action is still not moral.
Yeah, that's completely okay, right? The reason why that's okay is because that's actually something that's not going to be contradictory to my position, and I had already specified on a generalistic, instance. It's not going to be something that's observed from the, we'll say, the minority. This isn't going to be something that we disagree on, right? But something that you still haven't answered, though, is how exactly are these moral factors not going to be responses from physiological changes? Because we understand that in this instance, you had questioned what we mean by moral, but all I had defined as moral already is just the factors of, what is right and what is wrong. And we already agreed earlier that my statement earlier, the statement of I'm going to help you, this is a statement that can be considered right or wrong, which you already agreed to. So
Look,
the statement
one.
and the issue. Oh, are you cutting me off, Yuji?
Go ahead.
Silence this ape, please. Thank you so much. So, as I was previously saying, right? If you had already agreed that there's going to be an instance of this statement being right or wrong, and you're saying that this is a moral statement because we had already defined morality earlier as just the practice of what's right and wrong, you understand by this very instant you're admitting that this is a moral statement. So putting this into question, it's just inadvertently backtracking regardless. This is already something you accidentally or purposefully agree to. And if we do accept this already, under the generalistic view, whether this is a subjective moral statement or an objective moral statement, that's what's in question. Now, I should restate exactly what moral realism it just is. Moral realism is just an expression that propositions refer to objective features of the world independent from subjective opinion, right? And if we're observing these physiological changes on a consistent basis, right, the consistent reaction of this is something that does refer to the objective feature of the world. Henceforth, you had already agreed that these physiological responses are going to be objective features of the world, and you had already agreed that negative features and positive features are also things that are objective and external to the world. So, regardless, your backtracking isn't going to exactly answer my question to such.
Okay, finally I'm unmuted. Okay, to clarify, one, am I lagging?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so Archie just lied to me. Anyways, look, You're just utterly.
Oh, I lied, right? Yeah, of course I lied.
There's no way.
You definitely
There's no
lied.
way.
Of course.
Okay. Am I still lagging?
Nope.
Am I still
Turbo,
lagging?
please lock in.
No, you're
Holy
not
fuck.
lagging anymore now.
Okay, so thank you. So
Wipe
again,
the twink
look,
from the chat that keeps pinging me. Just mic up.
what's it called? That isn't one, Archie. That isn't actually a correct representation of moral realism. Like typically, a moral realist isn't going to say that what's it called? Whenever we're making moral statements, we're just referring to just some objective fact about the world, right? Typically, they will also want to argue that not only is this like an objective fact, but also is something that action towards this certain goal for one, and then two, they wouldn't also just say that like if it's mind independent, then it's more realism. Because I could just say a rock exists, and that rock exists as right, but that wouldn't really entail more realism, would there? But again, I can agree that positive and negative exist insofar as they further some goal of like the organism. However, now I just need you to like give me an argument for the conclusion where it's like I am motivated or I am obligated to actually like actualize some goal of a certain organism independent of my own personal desires towards that organism. So why would I be obligated to help somebody independent of whether or not I want to help them or not? That's the type of argument that you're supposed to be giving, man. Not so many other like proprietary usage of it.
That's a very, very cute and courageous opinion. And for that, I commend you for being brave enough to tell the entire VC how you feel a moral realist should argue. Right. Now, I'd like to clarify, and I'd like to explain to you already that all moral realism is, right, is just a philosophical position that moral statements express propositions that refer to the objective features of the world, independent from subjective opinion. This means my position, okay, is that moral statements express propositions that refer to the objective features of the world, independent of subjective opinion. This means all I have to prove is that there are moral statements, that express propositions that refer to the objective features of the world. I'm glad that we clarified that now. Now, there are multiple arguments for moral realism besides that very terrible explanation you gave of the argument you just posed. There's from normative realism, from moral phenomenology, from evolutionary debunking. Moral objectivism has a plethora of arguments, right? My argument is going to be the argument observed from physiological responses. This is an argument that I'm giving to you that you still haven't properly responded to. Now, I've already explained to you the propositions you had agreed to that, unfortunately led to the demise of your position, and you still haven't been able to defend against such, right? So, do you want to just push to conclusions if you feel that you can't respond properly? Or would you like to actually respond now?
Okay, one, none of that took the form of an argument. So, like, again, I asked you initially for some form of syllogism. You weren't able to give. Look, it's fine. I'm not going to, like, press you about validity. But the thing I'm mainly concerned about is, no, a moralist wouldn't actually himself to the view that, like, moral statements are merely just talking about. Whenever people say, okay, am I still going out?
He actually
cut out. You might need a better mic.
Just
Okay.
so you know, this strategy was a strategy when what's his name D1 was trying to read Gias's argument. DM
literally.
Look,
it's
even my mic is my Wi-Fi. But look, hello, am I still lagging?
Switch from Wi-Fi to beta just to read C's argument in
Am I
DMs.
still lagging? Am I still lagging?
No, someone's definitely flooding it with, It's cool. Yeah, I can hear you.
Am I still okay, perfect.
Wait,
I don't know who's DDoSing.
If you want to like tell C the Archie's
I thought you just said it was your mic, not your Wi-Fi. Now you're being DDoS.
Yeah, it's my Wi-Fi, but yeah.
Not your mic anymore?
Literally, I never said it was my. Okay, look.
You definitely did.
I don't care to get into trivial arguments, but look,
but you just
Archie,
with one.
Under your own, under the way you're like, how to explain this? Your proprietary usage of moral realism literally just makes every single like moral judgment that we have, even if it's just merely an expression of our own to moral realism. So whenever I say murder boo, we can clearly say that isn't propositional. However, under your view which is just that they're talking about some objective fact about because somebody is mind independently getting murdered, you'd have to commit yourself to the view that moral realism is both a for and then two, I don't simply don't
tragic.
Okay.
Badly, I'm not gonna.
Hello.
Continue.
Hello. Okay. And then two, right? Also called and then two, literally, your position is just compatible with multiple other anti-realist views. So again, an anti-realist would also just say that yes, whenever we're making more, looking at not only are we talking about trying to assign some form.
You're cutting in and out again, right? And I'm not arguing for the lack of propositions. I'm arguing for Oh yeah, you're there. Yeah.
Okay, so one, an anti-realist could just agree to the fact that we are talking about some mind-independent action that occurred, right? And they could also agree that we're trying to assign some form of like truth value or some form of like morality onto it, or like a moral standard onto it. But we just disagree, right? And no anti-realist would even to the fact that like these moral standards that we have are just exist independent of my own mind. So again, I'm just going to ask you a third time. Maybe this time you actually get Can you explain to me why I'd have a reason to do something regardless of my own like personal opinions? Capture?
Right, of course. So I've actually already responded to this. Right. You attempted to give an analogy that was reminiscent of someone comparing a rock, saying a rock is an objective feature of our reality, and then saying in such that since this is the case, we observe stance independent moral facts. A rock excuse me, isn't going to be something that's reminiscent of a moral statement. It's not going to be reminiscent of a moral statement that's truth out, right? Because all we're arguing is that these moral statements express propositions that refer to what? Objective features of our reality. The moral statement I'm referring to is, I'm going to help you with your taxes, which you already agreed was a moral statement. And I explain why this has a correlation and refers to the objective features of the world. Because of course we have to understand what a reference is. Right, and the reference that I'm going to be correlating here is going to be the physiological response that we observe, to which you also already agreed to. One would question, well, what about if these negative or positive expressions are things that are only in the mind? You have already agreed, which I don't know why, that these negative and positive features are going to be things that are seen within our external reality. So to which we already have the understanding that these, things are in reality. The only burden really is for you to explain why these physiological responses aren't going to be necessary for such statements. But of course that'd be an issue because what did you already agree to? That they are observed on a generalistic basis, right? So then one would naturally question, oh, well, what if someone gets joy and pleasure in a positive feature from murdering someone? Surely there'd be some type of reduction, right? Well, unfortunately, Shinra, you have already agreed it's on a what? Generalistic basis. So this is going to be invoking the majority opinion rather than any, psychopath's opinion. So that isn't going to be a proper argument. You asked for a motivator of such. My goal is not to motivate you in particular, right? It's to express to the judges of this debate of why this philosophical position is correct and why moral statements do express propositions that in fact express or refer to the objective features of the world. My goal here is not to merely convince you, right? Similar to how you stated in the beginning, your goal isn't to convince me. My goal is to provide an argument and to give reason for my position is correct and to give reason that is superior to yours, to which it seems to be a lot superior to yours. Now, it seems that you don't have an actual response, and it seems that you don't have an actual refutation to my position. And I'd hate for you to still respond with the exact same thing. So, what I'd ask you is, would you like to go to conclusions?
Shinra, if you don't go to conclusions, I'm gonna tear you open and fuck your ass. Please go to conclusions. Holy fuck.
Like,
okay, please. Yeah, that was scary. Okay, that was scary. So, I guess I can conclude.
Go for it.
Okay, so again, my argument. Well, actually, wait, I don't even need to conclude here. My conclusion is just that one. You can go ahead.
Oh, that's a beautiful conclusion. So Shinra's basis for his argument was simply based off of the fact that my position was false. So I had explained to him that even if you were to agree that my position is false, that still wouldn't necessarily prove anti-realism to be the case, because we have positions that are outside of anti-realism that still don't necessarily align directly with moral realism. To which he agreed expressivism is one, since he agreed that expressivists do not argue that normative facts don't exist and instead argue for their existence, and that anti-realists argue the opposite, while also agreeing that expressivism is not going to be something that's directly within or entailed within realism, right? So this in itself isn't going to be a proper argument. To which then we go into my argument, to which I demonstrated why we observe these physiological responses. He agreed that we do observe these physiological responses on a general level and on a consistent level. He agreed, for whatever reason in his mind, that these negative and positive features of these statements are external to our reality, right? And then he also agreed that these statements, the statements such as, oh, I'll help you with your taxes, is in fact the moral statement. To which I think I had already explained why all of these are going to be explained and referring to objective features of the world, since he did agree that these physiological response, and he agreed that this statement is an objective feature of the world, and that it's a moral statement. I think he cucked himself in this debate, and I think he unfortunately came in very, very underprepared. So, good.
Wait, Divinity is here, so do you want him to judge too, since we agreed on him before?
So, let me ask you something. How many judges do we have currently?
Detroyer is here, Divinity is here, and the other one is...
I asked, how many judges did we agree to?
Like 3?
Right. Why did we agree to 3?
Because, you wanted 3.
Because you kept picking your friends who were incompetent